Hey everyone, today I'm going to be making a long-term nuclear waste warning message tier list, just to catch you guys up. That is a message about waste sites that is meant to endure 10,000 years or more into the future, because waste sites are obviously dangerous because they are radioactive. Um, if you, I recommend highly that you watch my first video, because I cover a lot of these more in depth. I'm going to be doing a very, very, very short coverage of all of these and just, ranking them how I personally feel, how effective they will be. Um, Also, this video is unscripted, so bear with all of the ums and all of the pauses. But yeah, we'll go from there. To start, oh, also, a lot of these don't have official images related to them because they're mainly just um, theories and proposals put up by philosophers and other people. They were not developed that heavily. So a lot of these are just my own pictures that I kind of tried to relate to them. Like this right here is just a Children of Adam member from Fallout 4, but it's not that's not what they were intending with this. But anyway, this is covering Thomas Saboke's proposal, which was the creation of an atomic priesthood, which is essentially a religion that was to be established, um, that would start up a reverence, instill a sense of reverence in people around waste sites. You know, teaching them to fear them, respect them. I don't know, really, I don't remember which, but just to make sure that the message of radiation is spread and shared, even in the event of something like an apocalypse. And the theory was is if the Catholic Church can maintain their message for 2,000 years, this should work just as well. They'd put people like experts in the field on the top. Like they'd make them leaders. So like physicists and whatnot, linguists, psychologists, they would lead this religion apparently. Um, in terms of effectiveness, I don't rank it very highly. Just because, just like how the Catholic Church has like split off into Protestancy, and then the Protestants have split off a lot. I think that the message could be changed or interpreted differently, and then violence or even like going against the code of the atomic priesthood and like actively searching these out or trying to unearth these sites could start happening. And I just don't think that um, it's going to be all that effective just because of all the things that could happen uh, with examples provided by, our own history. So I'm going to put that as a solid B. This right here is a representation of Pablo Fabry and Francois Bastide's proposal, which is to create um, this thing called a ray cat, which is a cat that was genetically modified to glow in the presence of radiation, and then creating myths and folk songs about uh, the dangers of glowing cats, because there's a long history of cohabitation with humans and cats. They just theorized that they were a good like option to do this. Now, just like this, interpretation could change over time. And what if someone's not a cat person? I don't think that it is as effective just because, you know, like think about how many different um like what are they called? I forgot the word for them. Like sayings and whatnot have changed meaning, and like blood. I think blood is thicker than water has a different like older meaning, and like the water was the approved, like the more favored version. I can't remember, but just like how they can change over time, I imagine this would too. And there's lots of other factors like I said, like what if cats aren't kept around by people in the event of some sort of technological collapse. I don't know. Um, that's definitely going to C. Emil Kowalski's proposal. Again, They did not have a lot of imagery behind this, so I just chose those baby toys that you can't do. If you if you do them wrong. So you can't complete if you do them wrong. He proposed that we construct waste sites in a way that their construction and the means of getting in them would almost guarantee a understanding of radiation. An anecdote would be like burying it in a way you have to excavate it with like diamond drills, because in our history, uh, around the time we discovered radiation is the time we also discovered or developed diamond drills. It's basically just um, in order to get into the site, you have to have a high technical ability, and your culture or society has to be advanced enough to have the technology to get into it. I like this one a lot, um, just because, you know, if you don't have the technology to get inside of it, you're not getting inside of it, and you also probably are not smart enough to understand the dangers of radiation. So, you know, it's better to lock it away in a way that you can only get into it when you sufficiently understand what you're doing, you know? This one does have some imagery behind it. This is a sign, a warning sign developed by Vilmos Voigt. There would actually be several markers around a waste site, and they would be updated over time with new languages. I like this because, you know, it provides long-term understanding of the site. However, it could turn into a situation kind of like telephone, where maybe the meaning will change, maybe the translation will be made wrong. Um, you know, I do quite like it though. Because unlike sculpture, like these ones here, there's actually meaning attached to it, like and things you could like a message you could pass down to someone rather than just interpretation with these. So I think it's an A mainly, just because of that and how it's updated over time. This is proposed by Stanislav Lem. He proposed that we genetically modify plants so that their DNA coding, is basically a message, and then make them so that they only grow around waste sites and look really unique. And the goal was that people are supposed to somehow decode this information, even though they might have a low technical ability, and you know, I don't know. Maybe people might even seek these flowers out because they're unique in a time where, you know, they're relying on herbal remedies or something else because of some sort of technical collapse. So I don't like this one very much, just because there's going to be a long period of time where people might not have access to, you know, DNA sequencing, but still interact with radioactive sites regularly. So I just don't like it. This one is proposed by Philip Sontag. He proposed the creation of an artificial moon with a message written on it. This one is also quite crazy, just because, like, how does it maintain orbit for that, like, a long period of time? How is the message like read from Earth? It's all just a little bit. It's kind of like this one, but really cost effective. You know, I don't know. I don't like it. Now, these are all the sculptures. These actually do have a lot of imagery behind them. And it's all mainly just left up to how future people will interpret these. But the main purpose is to, like, scare people. So I'm going to rate it off of how scary I think it is, frankly. Menacing Earthworks is dirt mounds constructed in the shape of a lightning bolt around a waste site. I think that these are probably a solid C, just because it's definitely, well, maybe a B, just because of how it's differentiated from the land around it enough, and it's a strange shape. But it's not like its appearance doesn't look like it could harm you, unlike these here. These ones are very sharp looking, and you know, it doesn't seem all that threatening to me. Black hole. I like this one a lot. It is a large black slab of concrete put over the waste site. It would get incredibly hot in the sun, kind of like how asphalt gets hot. and it would make the land that it occupies completely unfarmable. So not only is it detrimental to people like who get near it, but it also does look quite scary because it's just a giant black expanse over the desert or wherever else it would be situated on top of. Um, Rebel Landscape. I don't like this one because it is just a bunch of rocks put over the waste site. Uh, I mean, if you've seen a rock pile in nature, um, like, I've been to a couple like old mine areas. It just doesn't look all that discernible from natural formations, and I don't think that it would look all that threatening to people, especially if in the event of some sort of, you know, technological collapse, there's going to be a lot of ruins of civilization or whatnot around, and this just wouldn't look all that different, but it would still be incredibly dangerous um, because of radiation's lasting effects. This is forbidding blocks. It's black, large blocks, like large black sculptures, situated on top of the keep. Not the keep. Well, it is called the keep, but the waste site. It has really small passages. It's also black, like black hole, so it get very hot. The passages are almost like impossible to get through, and they're like large, imposing, strangely shaped blocks. Messages could be written on them, kind of like the messages that would be written on here. So I like it quite a bit. This is called Spikefield. It is a sculpture situated around and on the site. It is kind of like a little bit like Black Hole, but it has spikes reaching out of it. I don't know if it's black. I can't remember if it's black, but um, it does like have that like bodily harm imagery around it, and I do like it for that. Um, but it is like visible and it doesn't look. There's like a lot of space between it, unlike this, so it's not like it's an area denial situation. Uh, I don't know. I don't like it as much as I like this one, which is Landscape Thorns, which is a lot of like really sharp looking sculptures, right? And this looks a lot more dangerous than Spikefield to me. It's like a bramble bush almost, and it's all like almost like torso and like a lot of these spikes are torso and body height, so it would probably be dangerous to pass through, and it would inspire that feeling of like that primal feeling of danger in someone. I feel so that one is definitely an S for me. Um, yeah, I think I like how it looks right now. Maybe maybe I might move this to D just because of how undiscernible it is from regular formations, I feel. Um, what else? What else? What else? No, I like that. All right, thank you guys for watching.